Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all the ages, welcome to another fantastical, incredible, and oh so magical Dota 2 commentary brought to you by the one and only Toshley. And once again, we will be commentating another glorious game from the Dota 2 International East Qualifiers. We will have we versus AEON battling it out today, and it shall be glorious. And it's good to be casting again, because over the past couple of days I've been unable to, as you may have noticed, because the replay servers have not been functioning very well. I was completely and utterly unable to download any replays. It was downright unfortunate. So I decided, well, you might be thinking, why didn't I commentate any PUBG games? Because, I don't know, maybe I just had bad luck, or maybe I'm just spoilt from these fantastic professional games that have been playing for us today, but those PUBG games that I tried to cast were awful. We had a team of 5 carries, or no supports, or supports that were stealing kills. It was bad. But anyway, let's jump into the bans. We have Team We on the Radiant and AEON on the Dire. First ban coming up is Enchantress, then Lycan, followed by Windrunner. Lycan caught standard ban. With we having first pick, that means that they're pretty much forced to ban Lycan. Banning Lycan first is good because it sort of cloaks your plan, because they know you're going to ban Lycan. It's simple as that, so they don't know what you might be going for with your current bans, but it doesn't really matter that much. Anyway, next ban coming up is Darkseer. Waiting for the next ban from the Team We side, as we have glorious Dead Air. Now, if I haven't mentioned before, all my commentatories are, well, it's a learning experience, really. I'm still learning the ropes, still learning the basics. The main thing I need to work on is my ability to commentate team fights, but that shall come naturally as I continue to practice, which will hopefully happen a lot more often, because in the brief moment where the replay servers were working, I downloaded a buttload of replays, and I will be commentating the many games. If I didn't mention before, this will be game 1. Commentating all 3 games, or however many games there are in this set. It's best of 3. Tongfu versus We, once again the Dota 2 International East Qualifiers. Next ban coming up for Team We is that of Chen. Probably trying to eliminate any push strategies here by the looks of it. Enchantress and Chen, both very good early pushes with their abilities to take control of neutral creeps. Chen is overall a absolutely solid hero with his ability to teleport team members back to base, as well as a global heal, which is just, it's good. Hadn't have got an absolutely brilliant spell. The next ban coming up is Brewmaster. Brewmaster, an absolutely brilliant initiator. A pain in the ass to go up against, because when he pops his ultimate, you have to kill him 3 times, and if you don't, he'll do tons of damage and walk away completely unscathed. Very annoying to come up against, but anyway, our first pick for Team We is that of Invoker. Invoker, very solid hero, can play a variety of different roles. I'd call him a carry of sorts. He's just a great hero. As to what role he's going to perform, we'll just have to wait and see the rest of the lineup. Waiting for the next 2 picks from Team AEON. Queen of Pain coming up, very solid mid. Probably going to be capable of going up against Invoker, soloing it out in the middle lane for the both of them. However, if Invoker picks up some Quas, that will give him a bit of health regen and allow him to rather effectively trade blows with the Queen of Pain if they're going to juke out in the middle lane. Next pick is a jungler for the AEON team. Chances are he will be hiding it out in the jungle, getting lots of farm and teleporting all over the place whenever he can in order to help out with ganks. His ultimate's also very good at pushing lane backs without actually having to be there. Overall solid ability, solid hero rather. But now we're waiting for the next 2 picks from Team We, probably thinking and deciding hard.
10 seconds remaining.
One thing to know is Queen of Pain's very mana intensive. All of her damage comes from her Sonic Scream and her Scream of Pain. So if Invoker goes Tornado EMP, he can drain quite a bit of mana from her, which will shut her down pretty quickly. Anti-Mage is next, so it looks like they are indeed looking at shutting down mana-intensive units, primarily Queen of Pain. Anti-Mage is also great for catching up with Queen of Pain, because Queen of Pain has a blink, Anti-Mage has a better blink, as well as the ability to drain mana with every single hit. Shadow Shaman, the next pick coming up, most likely going to be playing support. He has an absolutely great ability to push towers, as well as a solid Hex and a solid channel stun, which is absolutely devastating if you come up against it. He's also very capable of pushing lanes back with his little AoE shock, and his, as I've mentioned, his wards great at pushing down towers, specifically tier 1 towers. Next coming up is the Shadow Demon. Shadow Demon's disruption will be very handy against Anti-Mage. Anti-Mage, of course, going to be a very strong, very tanky hero, and Shadow Demon can, at will, make 2 copies of him. That's 2 Shadow... What? Oh, hold up. That is 2 Anti-Mages that could do a nice little chunk of damage to him, so it's going to be a bit troublesome with the Shadow Demon replicating him as much as possible. He's also, of course, a great support hero with his curse that amplifies damage, absolutely solid in teamfights. He has a nice slow. Disruption's good against enemies or allies, it works either way. Overall, very, very, very solid hero. And Shadow Poison's good for harassing if you put him mid, however, there's no way in hell he's going to mid. Queen of Pain's going to be taking up the mid slot because Queen of Pain's a great mid pick, and I personally feel Shadow Demon is a much better support. Very aggressive support, and a solid support all round. Ban coming up is Morphling. Very, very, very solid, very hard carry, that Morphling role that he plays. And waiting for the next ban coming up from AEON. My apologies. I think we're going to have a bit of glorious, fantastic dead air. I'm not really sure what strategies are going to be going for just yet. I know Queen, of course, going to be in mid, probably going up against Invoker, maybe. Invoker might possibly be soloing the top lane, soloing the death lane with Anti-Mage in the mid. Or we could see Anti-Mage in the bottom being babysat by the Shadow Shaman, assuming Shadow Shaman is playing the role of support, which he normally does. Nature's Prophet, without a doubt, going to be making his way into the jungle, and the Shadow Demon's probably going to be soloing it out in the death, not soloing it out, teaming it up with someone in the death lane. Next ban coming up is VS. Don't want to give them another stun, don't want to give them an ability to swap out a hero and pretty much guarantee a kill if anyone's trying to run away. Vengeful Spirit's ultimate, very handy, very dangerous. Next ban coming up, Slaughter. I'm going to guess they're going for a stealth hero next with that guess. However, they could pick up Bounty Hunter in order to counter that. Slaughter, pretty solid initiator. His ultimate's absolutely great because it gives them true sight of any hero that might want to go sneaky. So possible next hero, we could see Clinks, we could see Ricky, we could possibly see Bounty Hunter. In fact, if they go Bounty Hunter, that means AEON has absolutely no way of effectively tracking him unless I'm mistaken. Slaughter's out, which means there's no amplified damage to keep lights on him, and there's no Bounty Hunter if they pick up Bounty Hunter, so they, of course, you know, they can't both pick Bounty Hunter. That's not how this game works. Next man coming up, they could possibly, they're probably thinking, what are they going to do? They could possibly ban a Bounty Hunter. It would be a logical way to go, or they could pick on the way to banning phase. But if they pick Bounty Hunter, they could simply go a Clinks, they could simply go a Ricky Maru. Banning out the Broodmother. Alright, I was wrong entirely. My prediction skills needs a bit of work. The Dragon Knight is going to be the carry for Team Wii, not any of the heroes that I predicted. Again, this is something that's just going to get better with time. My analysis of Dota 2 should hopefully pick up as I practice. And it seems someone has just disconnected from the game. We'll probably see a pause as soon as it begins, unless it is the last person waiting to pick. I mean, unless it is a captain. Because the captain does all the picking in this mode. Anyway, we're waiting for the next pick from the AEON team. Time's ticking out. They've got plenty of bonus time to spare when they need to wait. Bonus time, of course. My apologies for that. I'm still recovering from a cold. In the lands of Australia, it's been very cold. It's actually very hot today right now, which is nice. It's a nice change of pace. Because it's been raining for the past week. It's been somewhat miserable and not particularly happy. Ticking into their reserve time, AEON probably thinking hard as to what they're going to pick. Dragon Knight is a very, very, very tanky hero overall, as well as a solid carry. As to who you would go to try and beat him down, AEON still need an initiator of some sort. Tidehunter would be a good pick. Earthshaker could be a solid pick, but chances are Shadow Demon will be playing the role of an aggressive support, so they might not pick up an Earthshaker, or a Sand King for that matter. Neither team thus far has... actually, I guess they will pick up Sand King. Sand King most likely going to be playing the support role. This is adding to their AoE damage capabilities. Taking a look over at Team Wii, there isn't that much AoE potential, that much teamfight potential just yet. But there's a lot of chaining that could possibly happen. And here's our main support. He's going to be our main source of team fight damage, it seems. Of course, the ward's overall solid. Next pick coming up for AEON. I can't see it being Earthshaker, since Sand King's most likely going to be playing the role of support. But they could use more stuns and teamfight capabilities, which is exactly what Earthshaker brings into the fray.
10 seconds remaining.
Tanking, of course, has a nice stun, has a nice, his ultimate epicenter, rips people apart. Earthshaker very similar with his Fisher ability, which can block off lanes. We have a Pudge. Been a while since we've seen one of those, I must say, but nevertheless, Pudge means exciting, because Pudge is an absolutely awesome hero to watch. You pick up some sick hooks, and it's just absolutely great. So I have a feeling that this game is guaranteed to be good. However, Pudge, I don't know, he seems fairly easy to shut down. We'll have to see how this game folds out. He's not a particularly common hero to be picked up in professional play, but we will see how it all unfolds, waiting for the last requisite 30 seconds before the game begins. As for lanes, thinking wait a second, they have several heroes that can play carries. They're definitely going for late game power here. As to who's been going mid, I'm not really sure. I'm going to guess Anti-Mage. Chances are Anti-Mage will be going mid because he has that great ability to escape. He's probably fairly effective against Queen of Pain as well. Or maybe not, I'm not entirely sure. Invoker's probably be going top lane solo with possibly a tri-lane down bottom with Shadow Shaman and Lich babysitting that Dragon Knight. And someone is disconnected, as we saw a little bit earlier, so we're going to have to wait until they reconnect before we jump into this game. Taking a look over at AEON side, at the Dire side, what will their lanes be? Chances are Queen of Pain most definitely be going to mid, Earthshaker, jungle, needless to say. Who else do we have? Not entirely sure about these other lanes. Sand King could possibly... Possible Shadow Demon could solo a lane. Sand King might solo a lane. I'm honestly not sure Pudge could... I have no idea what to expect here from the AEON team. It's not very standard. It's not very usual to see a Pudge get picked up. So we'll just have to see how this all unfolds. And we will wait, and wait for this man to reconnect. And if only I had a code commentator, we could chat and fill in the time. But right now, there's not really all that much to do. I'm fairly certain I've covered all the things that I can possibly cover. Again, I would like to go into some more in-depth analysis. However, my knowledge of Dota 2 does not support that, not just yet. But through time, through dedication, and through lots of casting, I should hopefully improve that and become a great commentator in the future. One would hope, nonetheless. I'm still not sure what to expect from these lanes. Of course, Queen of Pain in mid, as I mentioned before. Nature's Prophet over in the jungle. But what to expect from these three? Who's going to be taking the solo lane? Who's going to be babysitting who? Who is their carry? No, I wouldn't call Shadow Demon a carry at all. Pudge, he has a snowball effect, but I'm not really sure if you would call him a carry. He lacks abilities. I mean, he's got a hook. He doesn't really have all these direct damage abilities. Queen of Pain can play semi-carry, but she'll fall off later towards the end of the game. I'm really not sure what to expect from this. But, you know, if I had that extra Dota 2 knowledge, I might be able to construe someone from the team composition that AEON has presented to us today. But alas, we'll have to wait, have to practice, and in the future everything should improve. In the meantime, we have to wait, and wait, and wait. And none of them have bought items, none of them have picked up any spells, so I can't even suggest what they might be planning on going into. There's really nothing I can say. It's unfortunate. I hope the game resumes in a relatively short manner. Might actually take a look at the team fight capabilities. It seems we don't have particularly many stuns of sort over on AEON's side. Sand King has a nice stun, as does Pudge has sort of a pseudo stun. It's a channeled stun, as well as a hook, which is good at catching anyone that's running away, but that's about it. Over on the Dire side, over on Team we have Shadow Shaman, who effectively has two stuns. He has a Hex, and he has a Shackle, which is a channeled stun. Really long duration when it maxed out, 4.75 seconds. Lich doesn't really... Lich has a... I'm not sure if you'd call it a stun. It just mini stuns. I wouldn't really call that a stun. Anti-Mage, of course, is just solid damage, but he has that blink to catch anyone that tries to run away, so he probably doesn't need stun. Invoker has several I'd call them pseudo stuns. I'm not sure if I'd call them full-on stuns. Of course, Cold Snap, every time they take damage, they essentially get mini-stunned. And there's also the Tornado, which is, it's a sort of a stun, but they can't really take damage. But it stops them in their tracks, and it allows the team to sort of group around them and body block them and prevent them from escaping, hopefully. But one thing I've noticed is that we have quite a few carries on this team. Anti-mages, of course, a carry. We have Dragon Knight, who's a very hard carry, and Invoker's typically played as a carry too, so needless to say, these guys are going for late game potential. I'd say these guys are going more for early pushing, and Nature's Prophet, absolutely great at pushing, but a Pudge isn't really effective all that much early on, except for ganks. So, again, we're going to have to see how it all unfolds. I'm somewhat curious as to who will be teaming up with Shadow Demon, and who will be taking the solo lane. Shadow Demon's unlikely to be going on his own, because he's just so much better when he's teamed up with someone. You pick up a Curse, or Soul Catcher, sorry. You pick up Disruption. Disruption can stop people right in their tracks for 2 seconds, 2.5 seconds as a matter of fact. And Banish, Amplify Damage, increases the amount of damage they take, which is, needless to say, incredibly good for attempting to gank someone. As who would be teamed up, I'm thinking possibly Sand King, because Sand King throws another stun into the mix. But then again, Pudge also has what you could potentially call Stun Hook, which is, I'm not sure what you would call that exactly, but needless to say, it brings them back to you, and it will stop them for a short amount of time. Probably not as effective as Sand King's Burrow Strike, however. Possibly Pudge. You think Pudge might go the solo lane, however, Pudge, again, that hook's very good at picking up early ganks, but then again, we have Shadow Demon, who's already got Dispersion, which is absolutely solid at picking up early ganks, so yeah, not particularly sure how this is going to unfold. Who has more survivability? I think Pudge has jack-all survivability in the early stages of the game. If he uses Rot, his health gets low really fast, which makes me think he will be teamed up with Shadow Demon, but I feel that Sand King is just a better match for Shadow Demon with a more reliable stun, I'll call it. I mean, Pudge's hook takes some timing, and it's not even a stun anyway. You have to wait all the way till level 6 before you'll have a reliable channeled stun. Sand King, however, Burrow Strike, easy to use, overall solid stun. It's a good move. But anyway, Dragon Knight has reconnected to the game, and hopefully this means that the game will resume, and we will finally see exactly what each team plans on doing. And hopefully I'm not entirely wrong like I was with the pick screen, however, you can't really help that. I can't really help that, rather. So we'll see how it goes as we wait and wait. Seems we're waiting it up. Must drink delicious liquids so I don't cough everywhere. Absolute necessity. How will we be going today? So Pudge will indeed be teaming up with a Shadow Demon. Queen of Pain going to be making her way. Hold up a sec. Yeah, Nature's Prophet going to be jungling. Looks like they're going to all be heading to the bottom lane, see if they can pick up that first blood. While Team Wii are sort of just going into their lanes, not really doing any pushing strategy, not really attempting to group together and pick up any early kills. Anti-Mage going to be warding right over here. Could Lich possibly going to mid? I doubt it. Lich is good at denying enemy carries, but Queen of Pain's no doubt going to be going to the mid. Seems we might have a dual mid with Lich babysitting the Dragon Knight. But it seems action is about to unfold over here in the bottom lane.
30 seconds to battle.
The Dire's entire team seems to be here, but Invoker's a bit too far away in order to secure any early kills. And it seems they're just going to wait until the game begins. Everyone's going to back off. It doesn't look like an early first blood is going to happen. But they're still sticking around. They're determined. Pudge still not deciding what ability he's going to get. Probably going to pick up a hook if an enemy does come nearby. But if not, he'll pick up a Rot first because it's just it's a better pick. Seems everyone's going to retire. So it seems we're going to have a tri-lane here, but hang on a second. Nature's Prophet going to be taking the solo top, so no jungler today. I guess I should have seen that coming. I kind of forget the fact that Nature's Prophet doesn't have to jungle. But oh well, and we will indeed See a Lich babysitting the anti-mage over here. Shadow Shaman, what is he going to be doing? I'm not entirely sure. And over in the bottom, we're going to have an Invoker taking the solo lane with a Dragon Knight, possibly soloing it at top. Is Shadow Shaman going to be jungling? I don't think I've ever seen jungling Shadow Shaman. I wasn't know who was capable of doing it. But nevertheless, let's not show my lack of knowledge and inexperience. Already getting some right-click damage there on the anti-mage, picking up that Shadow Poison first, doing a nice bit of damage where damage can be dealt. And it's going to be very annoying for anti-mage to deal with this, because he's just going to be constantly taking damage, and there's not much that anti-mage can do to Queen of Pain, because Queen of Pain is, of course, ranged. Lich, of course, going to do a good job where possible to deny any enemy creeps whenever he possibly can. And things aren't looking good for Invoker. We have a couple of heroes sneaking it around the back. Invoker getting the disruption on, doing a nice bit of damage. Bow Strike coming in. Invoker taking tons of damage from Pudge's Rod. Is he going to fall? He does indeed. Shadow Demon securing the first blood for Team AEON. Things seems to have settled down, getting dangerously close to the tower Nature's Prophet is. Seems going to push this lane as much as possible and getting some nice right-click damage there on the Dragon Knight. It's also very low. Better be careful. Don't want to get overextended there. This seemed like a good strategy because Dragon Knight can't really hold up against Nature's Prophet due to the whole Nature's Prophet being a ranged hero. And Rasta being very, very careful. Doesn't want to get caught out by another bit of damage going down. Invoker taking massive amounts of that. Shackle going down on the Pudge is so low. Everyone's so low. Mutually assured destruction there, folks. And this, I think the Sand King is going to fall indeed too. Maybe it's a tree clearing his way through the jungle. The chances are that Anti-Mage will go to pick him up, or maybe he will just continue to farm. Maybe not. Anti-Mage going to keep farming, picking up a regeneration. Absolutely perfect. Exactly what Sand King needed, and he will return to the fray. Looks like he will be joining the middle lane, maybe pushing it, maybe doing a bit of damage, or maybe making his way to the top to try and gank this Dragon Knight, who's a little bit further ahead than he should be, I feel. Rasta going to push the lane over here. Nice little sentry ward here. Team Shadow Demon will be joining him soon. That was a nice little battle. Yeah, I didn't commentate it better, but oh well. I'm still working on my ability to commentate team fights, ladies and gentlemen. It will come in time and practice and experience and so forth. Ooh. Ooh, Jetta. It's oh so glorious, I must say. But a possible gank coming over here in the middle lane. Sand King coming on from behind, getting the bow strike there on the Lich. Anti-Mage coming in to do a little bit of right-click damage with Queen of Pain making her way to there. Getting a Shadow Strike, getting a couple of nice little right-clicks there on the Anti-Mage, who's currently afflicted by poison. But everything seems to be a-okay. Everyone taking a little bit of damage, but no one dying. Anti-Mage getting a little bit low, though. But that ring of health that he has will bring him up to full health without too much trouble. However, that poison's doing a nice bit of damage, keeping him very low and completely denying him from getting absolutely any farm at all. That's a problem when you put a melee carry against a ranged hero. The ranged hero is just free to do as much right-click damage as they can possibly do. And it looks like Hook missing, picking up a creep. How unfortunate. Taking a few damage. Looks like Queen of Pain overextended herself just a little bit, but she picks up a bottle, so I guess it was entirely okay for her to do so. She has that bit of extra regen that allows her to take some damage and then bottle up to full health. Gonna be making her way down the bottom, picking up a haste rune and refilling her oh so glorious bottle. Might be attempting to pick up some ganks over in the bottom lane, or maybe not, just returning to mid. May as well. Don't want to let Anti-Mage get any farm. Want to be denying as much farm as humanly possible, and right now she's doing an absolutely fantastic job at doing that. If we take a gander at the last hits, in fact, Anti-Mage only having 20, actually, he's still got a reasonable amount of last hits. I'm guessing Queen of Pain's focusing more on doing damage, but Anti-Mage is still doing a good job at getting those last hits, so I guess he doesn't need to worry too much. He just needs to be careful and make sure he doesn't die horribly. But that Ring of Health is no doubt helping him out, giving him the regen that he needs to sustain against all the right-click damage coming out of Queen of Pain. Dragon Knight getting very low, getting body blocked here by the Sand King, who takes a couple hits from the tower. Dragon Knight solo, but a very tanky hero. Sand King's daring, gets a Burrow Strike. Is it going to be enough to finish him off? He falls! Whoa. Whoa, what the hell just happened? The courier just fell. What on earth was that? Oh my lord. That was an interesting little fight. They really wanted to get that kill. Was it worth it though? I'm not entirely sure. They denied the carry, but 2 of them died as a result. I don't know what to say. An anti-mage is so low in health. She could blink in and scream, and that would mean the end of him. Anti-mage has to be careful, has to stay back. Won't be able to get any last hits. And out of nowhere, Nature's Prophet ultimate comes in and finishes him off. Very nice, and Lich is going to fall next. Absolutely no hope for him. Very squishy hero.
Specialist.
And the meanwhile, looks like they're going to push this tower as it is absolutely uncontested, with 2 of their heroes being knocked out of the battle for the time being. Not sure if they'll be able to take this down. Nature's Prophet preventing the creep wave from coming up. Doing damage where damage can be dealt. They probably won't take the tower down, but they'll at least get its health down a considerable amount, which will no doubt help for the next push, which will eventually happen. And they're not really sure how to engage. There's 3 of them and only 1 anti-mage, and if he jumps in there, he'll just die a horrible, horrible death. It seems the tower is just barely going to survive. Quite a lucky break right there. But the next push that comes along will absolutely guarantee its death. There will be no hope for that tower in the future. Queen of Pain securing herself an illusion rune and refilling her bottle, which is the main thing that's handy about this. I think Aganda over at the last hits. Quite a few last hits there.
Denied.
For Shadow well, not for Shadow Shaman, good lord. For Nature's Prophet. But Anti-Mage and Dragonite getting a reasonable amount of farm. Not as much as they would like, but it's still a reasonable amount. And a potential gank could be coming in here. Dragonite going forward very much with Sand King at the front, and Nature's Prophet just waiting for him to come closer. Power Strike going in. Nice little stun there going down there on that poor Dragonite. Is he trapped in the trees? I'm not sure. Dragonite's a very, very, very tanky hero. DK doesn't really have to worry at all. And over in the mid, we're going to have another little engagement. Hex going down there on the Queen of Bane, followed by the Shackle. Queen's going to fall. Disruption going down, preventing her from getting killed as she blinks away. Still so low in health, but looks like she will survive with that Bolter giving her the extra bit of regen that she needs. And I've been yelling too much. My throat's getting dry, and I have to fight the urge to cough. Very horrible. We have a Pudge here waiting in the sidelines, waiting for that Invoker to push forward, but I don't think he's as foolish as that Pudge might think. He knows that there's a Pudge nearby that's currently missing. He knows that that Pudge can hook him and do some serious, serious damage. Has Pudge picked up his ulti? Not yet, but he has just now. Picking up his ulti, which means he is one ganking machine when pitted against a single hero. And the team probably knows this with Shadow Shaman coming in, or is he just going to do a bit of farm? Nope, looks like he's going to come from the side. He knows Pudge is there, they're just waiting for the perfect engagement. The Queen of Pain is going to join him, or maybe she's just picking up a nice little regeneration rune. And I must drink another sip of this tea because my throat's getting dry. I'm like 10 minutes in and I'm already having trouble. Good lord. There's a kill down here on the bottom, Pudge dropping as expected. Teamed up against Shadow Shaman and Invoker. No survival would happen here today. Queen of Pain getting very daring, must have blinked in, popped off the screen, done a nice little bit of damage, but took a few hits from the tower and a Frost Nova there from the Lich. But ultimately alright. Ultimately A-okay. Queen doing damage where damage can be dealt, but taking a lot of damage in the meantime. Brought her down to half health, but she does have a regen rune, which means she can be as daring as she wants to be. She doesn't really need to worry at all. Unless she gets chain stunned. Shadow Demon making his way down to the bottom lane. Is there anything much he can do with 2 of them there? 1 Shackle, 1 Hex, and things will spell bad for him. It looks like they want to go for him. He can see him there, but he's too close to the tower to do any real killing amount of damage. Ward's going down here, going to take down this bottom tower for AEON. A little unfortunate. There's not really much they can do with the ward there. Are they going to reinforce? It seems not. Pudge waiting in the sideline. Wants to get a hook. In the meantime, bottom tower will go down for Team AEON, and and that poor goddamn Shadow Demon might go down as well. Sunstrike missing by quite a bit actually. And it seems he will survive. But in the meantime, getting blocked there by the Treants. No hope for the for the Dragonite. despite all of his tank ability. It was very close though. SK very low in health with Nature's Prophet already at half. But it was worth it, taking down that carry, denying him some farm and securing a bit of gold and XP for Team AEON. It'll do them wonders in the current stage of the game and of course in the later stages of the game. God damn you, Throat. Why do you betray me? Oh well. We'll just have to deal with it. What exactly is everyone going to be building in? Got a Queen of Pain blinking in. Does a nice bit of damage to Lich, but takes a few hits from the tower as well. And in comes a Shadow Shaman out of nowhere, attempting to get the Shackle there on the Nature's Prophet and the Hex. Gets a Shackle there on the Queen of Pain. Queen of Pain is going to fall, but that Shadow Shaman is oh so dangerously low, as is the Nature's Prophet, currently running for his life with a very small amount of health, and he successfully escapes. There's no doubt a teamfight going to happen at the bottom of this tower right here. Nature's Prophet being very daring with his low amount of HP, I must say. Has a Dagon. Probably the most unexpected thing I'd expect to see picked up. And I can hear this anti-mage just taking down these creep camps. Let's take a look at the last hits. Plenty of nice, reasonable amount of last hits for both the carries on Team AEON. Taking a look at, for Team Wii rather. But taking a look at Team AEON, not only do they not have a carry, but they don't really have a particularly spectacular number of last hits. I'd say it's not looking good for them. The only real reason the kills are even right now is their team is based around early damage and early pushing. However, in the later stages of the game, they will fall off. Nature's Prophet caught in a bad situation here. Wants to take down the Dragon Knight. Burrow Strike going down and securing the kill there for Sand King. With Anti-Mage forced to teleport out of there, but ulti going down, Curse going down, Disruption's definitely going to follow next. And the Burrow Strike is going to fall. He's getting the hell chain stunned out of him. The Lich's ulti comes out and does a massive amount of damage. Sand King forcing to pop his little stealth thing that I can't remember the name of, with Rasta very low in health and a serious amount of damage being dealt. Is it going to pick it up? Oh, nice pickup there by the Invoker, securing a kill there with the Sunstrike. Oh, I'm sorry I missed that, but nevertheless, that was nice. And things seem to have settled down. Kills still even. Take a look at the gold and the XP. Actually, considerably in the Radiant's favor, despite the even kill score. This is due to the fact that Dragon Knight and Anti-Mage have been farming. If we take a look at the Aeon's farm, look at all of their last hits. There's not particularly many. The most amount of last hits is only Nature's Prophet. In the meantime, Anti-Mage and DK have a comparable amount of last hits, which means their farm is going to be so much higher. And very soon, the scales will start tipping. If AEON don't do the damage that they need to do with this early... Yep, fight going down, epicenter going down. Was that really necessary? It probably was, because DK has a massive amount of tank ability, and they want to secure every single kill against the carry they can get. So that was most definitely worth it. Ross getting taken down there by the Pudge in the meantime. I'm surprised the Anti-Mage didn't try and do a bit more damage, but then again, was that Dismember off cooldown? It was not. I would have tried to do a bit more damage, but oh well. There's probably a reason for that I am missing. Anyway, back to what I was saying. AEON need to try and do as much damage as they possibly can in these early stages of the game, because later on they're going to fall off. And we are just going to slap them all the way to hell, because we have two carries, and these two carries have a reasonable amount of farm. And if AEON don't take advantage of the early game damage that they have with their current team composition, they're going to fall off and they're just going to die later in the game. And you can see they're doing down. They've already taken down 2 of their towers. However, as a nice hook goes down, picking up one of the same... Oh, no, wait. He teleports out. Never mind. Anti-Mage blinking out there. Nice hook there, but doing again Anti-Mage, it's not really a good idea. He can blink faster than you can Dismember. The Pudge getting caught in a bad situation. Shackle going down. All the right-click damage going down. Burrow Strike going down. Will it pick up the Lich? Maybe a couple more right-clicks, and it does indeed. But Shadow Demon is going to die as a result, dropping like an absolute stone, and Sand King just barely escaping from that not-so-great situation.
Radiant's top
That was
tower
definitely
is under
a
attack.
fight worth it. 2 kills for 1, and that 1 kill was only the support. And the support's just meant for dying. But in the meantime, taking down this top tower, going to be a 3rd tower secured there for AEON. I'm not sure if they're doing the damage that they need to do to survive and actually win this fight, because we are getting loads and loads of farm, and they've only taken down 3 towers. And we is taking down 2 towers, despite the fact that their team composition is more about late game than early game. And when the opposing team has a late game team, and it's going up against an early game team, and it's almost comparable in terms of how much map control and how much damage you have done to the enemy's base, it's not a good thing. It's not a good position to be in. AEON's probably not feeling too secure right now, because they haven't been able to do the damage that they need to do. And I mean, they're a bit ahead on towers, but it's not going to do anything at this stage of the game, because we are starting to get loads and loads and loads of farm. At least they're still pushing. Anti-Mage's going to get... That doesn't even matter. Hook going down, followed by this member. Actually, follow him by him dying horribly. He just sort of dropped. Oh, my apologies. Oh, sorry. Again, cold. Recovering from. Oh. But anyway, absolutely no hope for that anti-mage right there. He just kind of died as soon as he got that hook off. Very nice hook there by Pudge. Queen of Pain popping off a double damage rune, and some serious damage is going to go down on the... for the opposing team here. Bit of a waste of a scream in my honest opinion, with more of the team members all the way up there. That was a bit of wasted potential damage in my opinion, but oh well. What can you do? Team Wii doing a nice amount of damage to AEON's top tower. But they've poured in, they're doing some nice bit of damage. Just remember going down there on the Invoker, taking him down, but the Pudge is going to fall as a result. And Disruption going down there on the Dragon Eye, but Dragon Eye has so much taking ability, but he cannot take all of this damage. Trying to portal out because all of their stuns have been used, which he does so successfully. A reasonably good job defending there. Taking 1 for 1. Although, despite the fact that they're ahead on kills, actually, the golden XP is tipped in their favor. This was unexpected, because if we take a gander over at the last hits, it's actually started to balance out a little bit. However, Queen of Pain and Nature's Prophet aren't really heroes that benefit greatly from last hits. Well, they are, but what I mean is, they're not carries. They're not gonna, once they get all these last hits, they're not gonna start destroying face. Meanwhile, Dragonite and Anti-Mage will do exactly that. Taking a look at all the last hits. Anti-Mage, 81 last hits. And Dragonite, a nice chunky meaty 61. I really should be looking at the items a bit more, seeing what everyone's going to be building into. I'm thinking Anti-Mage is going into a Cloak of Defiance, I believe it's called. Hood of Defiance, in order for that extra tank ability and a little bit of extra protection against magic damage, which will be very handy because Queen of Pain's Scream does a lot of damage, and that's combined with Shadow Demon's ultimate, I mean not ultimate, but Shadow Demon's curse ability, which increases the amount of magic damage they take. A bit of extra safety against magic damage would be absolutely spectacular. Hook going down, Dismember going down, Blink going down. Even with all of that damage, Anti-Mage just has a massive amount of tank ability with all the farm he has. He doesn't have a TP scroll there. And a nice hook! Was that a guess? I'm guessing it was. Brilliant hook there by the Pudge. Picking him up there. Was that a guess? Was that a fluke? I don't know, but it was nicely done either way. Very nice hook there by the Pudge. And they're definitely now doing a good job at... I think they've hit their peak, where they have all the damage that they need to do in order to start pushing lanes like crazy. And they have to do this quickly, because Team Wii... once their carries start getting farmed, they're just going to absolutely destroy the other team. And there's nothing that AEON will be able to do it. So they need to take advantage of this situation where they're at their strongest. They have everything that they need in order to do as much possible damage to every single lane. And it looks like they're doing a fairly good job of that too. And once again, I'm just not paying enough attention to what everyone's building. It's something I'm going to need practice with. I need to learn everything. Chances are, going for a Battle Fury, a little bit of extra AoE damage, which is absolutely great for farming, and good in team fights as well. DK picked up his Hood of Defiance. What is he going to be going for next? Possibly a BKB? But again, not entirely sure. Dust of Deceit popping up over here. See if they're going to pick up any ganks if possible. Where are they going to be heading? Probably going to push the top. I don't think they know where they're going to be heading. They seem to be just going back and forth, back and forth. No, they're going to be pushing the middle lane or something. Oh boy, that was eloquently put. Sand King doing a nice job of pushing this top lane with, seems Nature's Prophet probably going to join him, or maybe just going to spend some time in the jungle. Not a particularly good situation for the Queen of Pain to be in. Hex going in and kind of falling as a result. Nature's Prophet ports in. Will it be enough to save this tower? I don't think so. Those wards are up, but they're not focus firing. Not focus firing the wards on the tower there. This might be the difference between taking the tower down and not taking it down. Butterfly going in, doing a nice bit of damage. Trapped in the trees, Dragon Knight, but has a Quelling Blade and can easily get out of that dire situation. I think the tower might survive this onslaught, mostly because of these wards. If those wards were focusing that tower, it'd be gone. Hex going down there on the SK, followed by Lich's ultimate. Already getting doubled up in the team fight. Nice Burrow Strike there, but getting trapped in the trees alongside Lich. Epicenter going down, doing massive amounts of damage with that poor Invoker. But it is not enough. Team Wii is oh so low, but will it be enough to get taken down? Here comes the Shadow Demon trying to do as much damage as they possibly can. Medallion going down and everywhere. Hook going down with a disruption. That was... I'm not sure what to say about that. Dragon Knight currently running for his life as Nature's Prophet picks up another kill over on the Lich's head. DK so very low with a line of creeps and a Shadow Demon following him, but it seems he's mostly going to be safe with the protection of his tower right here. These team fights, they've been good. Now let's take a look at the XP in gold. XP in a considerable advantage for Team AEON, and this is true for the gold as well. So despite the extra farm that the carriers have gotten on Team Wii, it's not been enough. However, once again, they still need to capitalize on this advantage that they currently have because their team composition will fall off. As I've said many times, it will fall off in the later stages of the game. They need to do all the damage they possibly can right now. As much damage as possible. Now, I heard a Sunstrike going down. I'm not sure who was going for. Possibly someone that was low in health, needless to say. It seems Team AEON's going to sit back, maybe they're going to get a bit of farm, or maybe just going to recuperate for a little while before going for another push. I'm somewhat surprised no one's trying to take Roshan yet. It's a nice bit of extra gold, nice bit of extra XP, and that Aegis of the Immortality is, of course, oh so incredibly useful. Oh, no courage. Okay, whatever. It looks like we're going to have a big team fight going on in the mid. Smoke of Deceit has been popped to try and get the upper hand on the unsuspecting Radiant team that are making their way to push this middle lane as hard as possibly can. How's it going to unfold? There's quite the force here, and I don't think there's enough of Team AEON in order to combat this. I think the carries here. Hook going down there on the Dragon Knight, followed by the Dismember. Scream going down. Massive damage being dealt. Epicenter doing massive amounts of damage. Wards have been popped, but it's not going to be enough. Oh, that teamfight capability there coming in from the AEON. Ouch. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Epicenter combined with Queen of Pain's Scream and Pudge's Rot does massive amounts of AoE damage to any members that get close to it. And you got to really be careful because that Sand King's Epicenter does a lot of damage. Massive amounts of damage, in fact. They're going to secure a Roshan kill here while the Team Wii is out of action. Get some gold, get some XP, and pick up an Aegis of the Immortality. Chances are it will be going to the Queen of Pain in order to give her a bit of extra, tankability so she can do even more damage than she can already do. She jumps in, she screams, she ulties, and then her Aegis pops when she dies, and hey. Then again, Queen of Pain already has the ability to blink out of any trouble that she might get into, so we'll have to see how it unfolds. Possibly Pudge could be getting it. I'm thinking maybe not, though, considering Pudge is nowhere nearby. So Queen of Pain does indeed pick up that Immortality, and Pudge is hiding in the bushes and wants to get a gank for the next foolish member of the Dire that does venture into that jungle. Things seem to settle down just a little bit. Anti-Mage's going to return to our farming, sorry. I'm feeling a bit off my game today. I'm not really sure why. I think it's because I haven't commentated for the past 5 days and I've already gotten a bit rusty. Nevertheless, I'm going to try and do 2 games every single day. I won't be able to upload them all because LOL Australian internet is very slow and my bandwidth limit is 50 gigabytes. Yes, 50 gigabytes, and my upload speed is 0.85 megabits per second, not megabytes, megabits. Just remember that you need 8 megabits to make 1 megabyte, so it is very, very slow. It's awful. It takes hours to upload a video. upload a Dota 2 video in 720p, it takes a long time. A long ass time. And we can see Team Wii is hungry. They are hungry for a gank on the next unsuspecting soul, but I don't think anyone is here except for the Queen of Pain, who can easily blink out of any bad situation that she gets into. This tower is going to fall without a shadow of a doubt. Just taking a look at what everyone has. Really need to be analyzing what items they have. Needless to say, Radiant's top tower, the Dire's top tower, thank you Miss Announcer, has fallen, and now they're going to do some massive damage to the barracks. Wards going down. This is not looking good. They're 4 support up. And this is what I'm talking about. I think they're at that point where they've got enough farm to start beating the opposing team, the Team AEON, because they're all about early damage, and I think their time has run out. Maybe. BKB being picked up there for the Queen of Pain as expected. This allows her to, this will be good in combination with her Aegis, because she can just jump into a team fight, pop the BKB, she can scream again. I keep forgetting what they're called. Scream of Pain and Sonic Wave, not Sonic Scream. Nevertheless, lots of AoE damage coming out of her. Then she'll die, then the Aegis will pop, then she'll repeat the process all over again. But in the meantime, things have settled down just a little bit. You can look at the items. What's Pudge going to be going for next? Not entirely sure. There's a lot of things that can build into, that an Ogre Club can build into. An It's probably not. Possibly a BKB. But then again, Rot does a hell of a lot of damage for Pudge, and you don't need it to be unstunned. But then again, he is a tank. I don't know. With practice, I will better understand team compositions, item builds, and so on and so forth. Through time and practice, and all that glorious stuff. Okay. Camera control is being a little bit weird right now. Team AEON going to be pushing this middle lane by the looks of it and getting any kills that they can possibly pick up. They're sort of scattered all over the place, not really in one set, and they don't want to get caught out because the opposing team is capable of doing a lot of damage, but Team AEON are definitely more capable in terms of AoE damage. And I think we're just going to farm for a little bit. Well, Anti-Mage is going to farm as much as possible. Is Dragon Knight farming? No, he's over here defending. Which I guess is necessary because Dragon Knight is an incredibly tanky hero. The Dragon Knight an initiator? Am I mistaken? He is definitely very tanky at the early stages in the game. Hook going down just barely misses that raster. It looks like they're switching to the bottom lane. Wants to try and take down. The tower's already fallen, so they want to try and take down and secure a barracks kill if possible. Nature's Prophet also going down, going to eliminate the creep wave. Massive amounts of damage going to be dealt. Queen of Pain sort of wasting the BKB. They're just blinking there, getting a Sonic Wave off and the Scream, but not doing all that much damage, as the only person it hit was that Dragon Knight. Very much a wasted BKB and a wasted Scream, which is going to give Team Wii a little bit of security, because they know that they're not going to get as much massive amounts of damage coming from Team AEON. They don't have to worry. Hook going down, did it connect? It did indeed. Followed by the Dismember. That Anti-Mage falling, and he died. Nice hook there from Pudge. Pudge is doing an awfully good job with these hooks, I must admit. And what makes it even better is he secured that hit on that kill on the Anti-Mage, which is exactly what they needed. More kills on the carry is good. Wards popping down. They should be focusing on that melee barracks, but they are not. Come on, Wards. Don't make the same mistake again. Focus on the barracks. Let's commentate the team fight, actually. Hook going down. Dismember going down there on the Raz. Actually, a Hex going down, preventing. But, oh, Lich's ulti doing serious amounts of damage. And it looks like AEON did a very good job in that team fight, but they're also very low. Pudge very, very low in health. Is he going to escape? Currently trying to walk through Invoker's Cold Walk. Definitely Wells going down, pushing them back a little bit. Now they're oh so low and forced to retreat once again.
Radiant's bottom barracks
Points and almost getting the kill there on the DK. And now Team Aeon have free reign on their barracks by the looks of it. Actually, they're porting in because they know that under all circumstances, even sacrificing their life, they must, absolutely must save this barracks. Hook going down, get the anti-mage once again, followed by the burrow strike. Was that necessary? I guess it wasn't preventing them from blinking out. Sheep stick going down, and the anti-mage falls again to another glorious hook. And look at all that tank ability that DK has. They're just right-clicking him to death, and it's doing absolutely nothing. Nice burrow strike there by the SK. Force-staffing away from the imminent danger that he was just placed in. Very nicely done. Hook going down, picking up the Invoker. The Invoker force-staffs in an attempt to get away. Burrow strike going in. Nice burrow strike. Is an enemy center going to follow? Ah, nah. The Sand King fell. Massive amounts of damage being dealt by the Dragon Knight. He's tanky, but he's not tanky enough. And a nice, brilliant hook there by the Pudge, picking up a Lich. This Pudge, man. This Pudge. Just remember going down there on the roster. Oh my lord, team kill. The entire team Wii is down, and they're going to have absolute free reigns there on the bottom barracks of Team Wii. Aeon doing a brilliant job in that team fight. Oh my lord, I don't even know what to say. Oh, I think I need to take a nice deep breath after that. That was quite the game. And it's looking like GG. Protection is not going to be enough. Fortification absolutely not going to be enough to save this melee barracks from falling. Pudge doing an absolutely amazing job. Just look at all the kills that he's gotten. Look at all of those assists. Brilliant hooks there coming in from Pudge. And this is why a game with Pudge is just absolutely fantastic. Oh my. I think I need to drink some tea.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Getting nerd chills, man. That was sick. That was sick. Absolutely amazing team fight. Went so well there for Team Aeon. Oh, need to relax. Nerd chills, nerd chills. They're not helping. Oh, man. I'm surprised Aeon aren't really capitalizing on this advantage they have, but they maybe necessarily don't need to. After having such a successful team fight like that, they could probably just sit back a little, but one must take note of the fact that Wii does have those carries, and Wii is capable of coming back in the later stages of the game. It could possibly be too late, however, with their bottom barracks being taken down, but we'll see how it unfolds. But I think Aeon's going to get just a nice little bit of farm, get a bit of extra health, and a couple of items, which will no doubt be on the way. Naga Scepter, indeed, for Pudge. And then once they have those extra items that they need, they'll probably have the final push of death. And if they can secure another team fight that went like that, oh boy, are things going to be looking good for Aeon. Oh, still don't know what to say. That was such an amazing fight. But anyway, let's stop going on about that. And what lane are they going to push next? Are they going to push top? Are they going to push mid? It seems Tiwi, needless to say, on the defensive right now. They're keeping an eye out on both lanes. They don't really have that much vision aside from the creep waves, which are just getting eliminated over and over again. Aeon making their way to the top. Looks like they're going to push this lane. This could be the final killing blow for Team Wii. Hook going down. Did it succeed? It did not. A hook there on the Dragon Eye would have been absolutely perfect. Being able to take down one of those tanky heroes or a team fight even engages would have been perfect. But you can't have it your way every single time. Shadow Poison going down, trying to get a nice bit of visibility. Trying to see who's there. Being very cautious though, they don't want to get caught out of position. They don't want to die at this moment in the game because they can still come back. With Dragon Knight and Anti-Mage, they are still perfectly capable of coming back in the fight. Anti-Mage now has a Mad Style, probably going to be working his way possibly to a BKB, but I'm not entirely sure just yet. But it seems they're just sort of taking their time. They're not really sure how to approach this situation. Is Roshan up? He is indeed. Actually, yep, they're probably all going back to do Roshan, and Aegis of the Immortality is probably the exact thing they need to absolutely secure any upcoming team fights that may occur. As to who's going to get the Aegis, part of me is thinking Sand King, but possibly Pudge because he has a massive amount of tank ability. We shall see though. I did not know this member on the Skeleton Warrior, which is incorrectly named because for some reason in replays. Alright, who's getting the Aegis? Who's getting the Aegis? They can't decide. They're not sure who is going to get the Aegis. Nature's Prophet picking up the Aegis of Immortality. That's a little different. But I guess it allows him to push lanes separately as hard as he wants, and if he dies, no ill will be done, and he can just continue to push. It looks like they're going to be Aegis Prophet going to push the bottom lane, and while the rest of the AEON team push the middle lane, or will they push the top lane? It's looking like middle. Team Wii securing themselves around this tower to defend. It's exactly what they need to do. And they've already pushed themselves forward. Pipe going off, trying to catch them off guard, but they were too far away. And a bit of a wasted pipe of insight right there, which will give them a little bit of an edge in the next upcoming team fight, since they know a few of their cooldowns were popped off. Nature's Prophet, of course, going to be pushing every single lane, porting between them all. Has a Demon Edge? I don't even know what to say. That's somewhat strange. A Maelstrom? These items are strange. He has the Aegis, which doesn't make that much sense in the first place. He has the Dagon. He has a Maelstrom. Okay, Sheepstick, understandable. A Demon Edge? I don't even know what to say. That's just a strange. Guys, Hook going down there on that poor Dragon Knight, and absolutely perfect. Ember Sender going down, doing a nice amount of damage to the anti-mage. Look at this brilliant team fight. Another one coming in there from AEON, only securing a kill, but doing a nice amount of damage to the anti-mage. And this might give them the edge they need with that DK taken out of the fight. They don't need to worry about any tanky high damage heroes to push them back. They can just secure this barracks nice and cleanly. Hopefully.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified.
Fortification is not going to be enough, but they want to stretch out a little bit of extra time for the Dragon Knight to come in. Who was that Hook going for? I don't even know, or one of the people over there. Eventually, Pudge is going to get another sick hook, and it's just going to be a bad day. Hex going down there on the Sand King. Is Shackle's going to drop next? It does not. Meteor going down, doing a nice bit of damage with Sand King. Force-staffing it out of there. Shackle going down there on the Nature's Prophet. Is it going to be enough? Absolutely not. He can just pour it out of there. That Shackle. Not enough damage being dealt to the Nature's Prophet to take advantage of that Shackle. And that Invoker's so low, probably going to fall. Maybe not. In fact, they might just leave the kill and secure these barracks. But they did indeed get the Invoker, who has just brought back. Team Wii's top barracks being taken down. Hook just barely missing the Dragon Knight. And while they've successfully taken their top barracks, they're just going to sit back, or are they going to capitalize this and take down the middle barracks? Needless to say, it's looking somewhat GG-ish at this point of the game. 2 barracks down. They could still come back, but I don't think Anti-Mage and DK are possibly have the potential to get the amount of farm they would need to win this upcoming battle. Hook going down there. Oh, it hit the creep right next to the DK once again. How many hooks have Pudge let off that were inches away from that Dragon Knight? I don't even know. Oh, it's not a good day for Pudge. Well, maybe it is, because he's gotten some pretty sick hooks so far. What was that team fight back there? We got about 3. Oh, it was amazing. Nevertheless, AEON's just going to sit tight. Going for another hook, missing once again. How unfortunate. But they're just going to sit tight and relax in the air of victory, which they have no doubt secured. Now it's just a matter of time before they take down the final barracks. Have Team Wii given up? They have not just yet. They're going to they're going to be fighting to the end. Hook just barely missing again. Come on, Pudge. You put up some sick ones before. You can put some more sick hooks down. Trying to take advantage of the DK that was caught in the trees there by going for the hook. Gets a hook there on the Invoker. Hex going down, and that Invoker is oh so dead. There was no escape for him, and he was hexed. He was dismembered. He was gonna die. Ward's going down this time, not focusing on the tower. Come on, Rasta, focus those wards. Look at how much tank ability. Oh my god, missing again. How unfortunate could that be? But a nice epicenter going down there by the SK. Massive damage. Lich's ulti going down, bouncing between the couple of the heroes. There's not going to be enough damage to do any sort of real dent in AEON's offense. Wait. What happened there? I don't know. Where did SK go? There he is. Hook going down, picking up a nice, delicious Lich for the Eatons. GG's going down there by Team Wii. This is no doubt the end of the game, securing a nice, satisfying victory. I was somewhat expecting Team Wii to win with their, in my opinion, better team composition, but AEON pulled out some sick play. That Pudge getting some absolutely fantastic hooks there. And AEON are just going to sort of sit back, take down these towers, going for another hook, picking up an anti-mage, but he teleports back into the fountain. And as their final tier 3 tower goes down, or tier 4 tower, I'm not sure what it is exactly, but nevertheless the tower's going to fall, as will their Ancient in a few seconds. Tanking wants some kills though, he really wants some kills. Gonna get a hook there on the anti-mage once again, followed by a Dismembered, followed by a Hex. No hope at all. And the next fall is the range barracks. Bye-bye. Good game, everyone. That was game 1 of the Dota 2 International East Qualifiers. Team We versus AEON. Game 2 will be coming up shortly. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed Game 1 of the Dota 2 International East Qualifiers. Team AEON versus Team We. Keep your eyes glued to this channel to see the next game, as it will pop up in the not too distant future. And if you like the video, please hit the thumbs up button. If you didn't, thumbs it down, that's what it's there for. And if you want to go that extra mile to try and help me out, please leave a bit of constructive criticism and feedback. Every single little tiny insignificant piece can hopefully help me improve the quality of these videos for you guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.